Welcome everybody to another week of Words You Can't Say Anymore. This week's word is the M word, which don't tell anyone I said this, but it's marijuana. Marijuana is extremely racist now, apparently, as everybody knows. And if you say it, you're going to be on a list somewhere. Well, let me take you on this joyride through another episode of Words You Can't Say Anymore. Let's see what we've got this week. Looks like it's the M word, folks. Cannot say marijuana anymore. Strike that from the dictionary, guys. We'll see you next week.
Stop saying marijuana.
So this dude is deeply offended by a word that seems completely neutral by any standard of the world. Let's find out why.
Why? Because it's racist as
It's racist as flip. Stop saying the M word. I'm very upset that people are saying marijuana instead of the M word.
Stop saying marijuana.
And I'm going to make a video about it because it offends me, and I think the whole world needs to conform to what I think is racist and not racist. It's such a powerful way to start a video, is to tell people to stop using a word.
The term was used to knock on people of color and their devilish ways. The word itself isn't inherently racist.
Oh, okay. So it's not racist. So you just invalidated the whole point of this video in the first 12 seconds.
The word itself isn't inherently racist.
Got it. So this video's done. We can close the case? No? We still need to control the world and everybody in it and what they say to avoid offending you? Okay, got it. Let's keep watching.
But it was used by American prohibitionists to exploit racism and xenophobia. So by using the M word, you're ignoring a long history of oppression against Mexican immigrants and African Americans.
Hold on 1 second. Is that a fresh reggae beat?
You're ignoring a long history of oppression against Mexican immigrants and African Americans.
Is that cultural appropriation? Because you do not look Jamaican to me. And I would appreciate it if you wouldn't use the R word in your V word. That's reggae in your video. Hopefully, when we get to true utopia, we won't be using words anymore. We'll just be saying A word, B word, C word. It will just be shortened for every letter of the alphabet. And that way we can communicate much easier without offending anyone. So please, if you would be so kind, don't use R word and your V word.
You're ignoring a long history of oppression against Mexican immigrants and African Americans. Let's go on a quick history lesson, shall we?
Let's go on a little history lesson, shall we, you ignorant fucks?
Let's go on a quick history lesson, shall we?
I don't know why this guy annoys me so much. I think it's because he looks like social justice warrior Mr. Rogers. He's in a white cardigan that's way too tight. He's got all this slick back hair, and he just looks like he is the white devil. Oh my God. Something's happening to me. I haven't felt this in a while. Yes, it is I, Whiteface Man. All insults and sensitivity bounces off me like the light hitting Antarctica. So what's this guy talking about? The M word?
Because it's racist as
The M word? Marijuana? That's offending him? Really? The M word? Really? You're gonna make a little video about it? And say, oh, the M word? Right? Let me break this down. He wants to compare the word marijuana that isn't actually racist at all, and so he can have a word that's comparable to the N word. This poor guy, he doesn't get to complain enough and feel offended enough times, so he needs to invent a word that's just as offensive so he can put it next to the N word.
So by using the M word, you're ignoring a long history of oppression against Mexican immigrants and African Americans.
Get real, dude. Nobody in the world uses marijuana and is willfully ignoring the oppression of Mexican Americans. Get real, dude. It's not a competition. It's not an oppression competition. Let's just eliminate words altogether and just grunt at each other and nod as to not offend anyone. Bask in my whiteness. I'm no angel. I'm just a man in cream paint.
But it didn't become controversial until the early 1900s, when millions of Mexicans migrated to the US following the Mexican Revolution. With them, they brought marijuana.
I move that we stop saying marijuana. I agree. We shouldn't say that anymore. I think what we should start saying is marijuana.
Marijuana.
A little salsa. Yeah. Woo. Spicy. Everyone's going to be blazing after this video, dude. Good job.
But the term was then popularized in the 1930s by this man.
Did you know that in Mexico they don't even eat burritos? And it wasn't until 1837 that Americans started spooning beans and guacamole and cheese and wrapping it in a tortilla and started inventing their own Mexican food called burritos. That shit is racist as fuck. And if I catch you using the B word, you better watch out.
Harry Anslinger was the director of the Federal Bureau of Narcotics from 1930 to 1962. Now, Anslinger believed that marijuana influenced black and brown people to commit murder and other violent crimes, which is ridiculous.
May I ask, why do you set up a second camera angle when you're on a static background? And I've noticed of BuzzFeed and all these shitty videos, they have this second angle, but I don't understand why. There's no purpose. There's no purpose. Are you just trying to make your production look like it's higher quality, like you have more money and more funding? Why there? Why here? Why is there two cameras right now? Adds nothing. Does absolutely nothing.
Now, Anslinger believed that marijuana influenced black and brown people to commit murder and other violent crimes, which is ridiculous, because all I see people do when they smoke is sit on their couch, watch TV, eat munchies, and fall asleep.
Oh, that's an original observation. Did he just point out that when people are high, they sit on their couch, watch TV, eat munchies, and fall asleep? I have never heard that observation before. That is such an original joke. You know, for someone as sensitive as you are, to portray stoners as just a bunch of lazy, munchy-eating boneheads is a little insensitive. But if you were smoking weed for medical purposes, I think you would have been deeply offended by that joke you just made. And that's kind of the point. When you complain about everything and every word is off limits and you choose to be offended by every single little thing, you put yourself in a box, sir. Try this for one day and see how you like it. It feels great. I'm telling you, try it for a day. You're going to love it.
So his solution was to launch a vicious propaganda campaign against marijuana and associate it with all inferior races and social deviants. Anslinger traveled across the country to convince people that marijuana was something that was invading the US. He even pronounced the drug as marijuana to make it sound Hispanic and foreign and scary to white people. The campaign played on through 1937 when Anslinger successfully pushed Congress to pass the Marijuana Tax Act, which made the drug illegal at a federal level.
Words change, dude. Meanings change. This word has clearly not been offensive. I don't even know if it was offensive back then, but it's clearly not offensive now, and it hasn't been for a long time. For you to try to make a parallel connection to the N-word is disingenuous, and it discounts the actual racism that African Americans have faced and still face in this country. We are not here forever. How is this worth your time? And your life is too short. The M-word? Marijuana is racist? Dude, come on, man. Life is not. It's way too short, dude. You got to give this up.
You might argue that marijuana lost its prejudice bite years ago, but you can't ignore the racial implications of its introduction to the American lexicon.
Who are you actually helping? What life are you actually impacting by going on this crusade? No, not one person will think, oh man, I'm so glad people aren't saying marijuana again and then bringing up all that suffering I went through. And the real shame, dude, is that this video may have actually been interesting, but when you do it through the lens of, I need you to stop saying that word that specifically offends me and no one else, and I need to control what you do, it would have been a great video. But now, here I am in whiteface putting on white lipstick, and I mean, man, this is going to take me hours to clean this shit off. You think I'm happy about this? I have white oil in my hair.
Station is actually very deja vu. We're still trying to fight the negative stigma that clings onto a plant in 2018, all because of white men such as Jeff Sessions and Steve Alford, who keep making terrible remarks when trying to make marijuana the culprit for crime. Organizations that advocate for legalization, and even some media publishers, including Now This, have stopped using marijuana to describe anything that contains THC or any other cannabinoid. So what's the right word to use? Cannabis. Just call it by its Latin name, and you'll not only be technically correct, but also politically correct.
Can we all just take a fucking chill pill? Can we all just eat a burrito and have some salsa and smoke a little marijuana? And maybe that shouldn't be offensive. Maybe that should just be a great time. We're all having laughs, having a couple cervezas, a couple jalapenos, right? And that shouldn't offend anyone just because I'm saying a word. This is Whiteface Man bidding you adieu. And I apologize to all the French people out there who are offended by my use of the A word, adieu.
Good shoot, Hila. That one really...
Seriously?
Are we all good?
Seriously, Ela?
I did Silverface.
Silverface? That's so offensive. Now, but you're
Why?
going to offend white people and black people and Smurfs because it looks more blue than silver.
Last time you said I couldn't do white.
Dude, this is so messed up. I cannot believe you would put on Silverface.
Why can't I do Silverface?
I don't know that this video is going to work anymore. That's so racist, Ela. I'm so offended right now.
Okay, I'll take it off.
Does not saying the M word make you crying laughing emoji? We've teamed up with one of our favorite artists, Rob Israel, to bring you this special collaboration shirt. As this video will almost certainly be demonetized, help support your nation by rocking this crying laughing emoji shirt. And remember, don't say the M word. See you guys next time.